everyone, and welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, home of the Bayou Bengals and the stadium called Death Valley since the late 50s. Little gets the blood boiling, quite like a rivalry game. Barbs, shots, trash talk, things that go on throughout the week will now all be settled on this field. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Texas A&M Aggies, taking on the #1 team in the land, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. First down here for the offense. They'll go to the ground. Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27. In a competitive conference like the SEC, you just can't afford to start 0-1 if you want to chase a championship. Really important to get off to a good start.
No doubt, in the SEC, you've got to set the tone early. It's all about creating momentum out of the gate. Both of these teams had this game circled all offseason, David. They know what's riding on the line here.
There's so much riding on the line. Who gets to Atlanta down the road? Bragging rights, recruiting rights, all this stuff. Once you get in conference play, it means a lot every single week.
On second down, he'll fire. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
And that is an all-too-familiar sight. Listen, this team won last week, but they gave up 4 sacks. They got to protect this young man early in this game. Don't set the tone, and let's not go back to last week.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, backed up inside their 20. Back open in the middle. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker.
One of the things I love about this defense is they just have such great awareness, and they're always communicating. They understood the down and distance. They knew exactly what they needed to do to make the tackle to force the punt. That is so well done.
The one thing that can derail this offense, a bunch of 3-and-outs. They won't do that here, but they might go 4-and-out if they don't convert. So we're scoreless, their first drive of the game, and this coach is wasting no time taking a gamble by going for it on 4th down in his own territory. And he's tripped up, but not before picking up the first down. That time they were in their own territory. That took some lower intestinal fortitude.
It definitely did. And listen, if that's what you're going to be, that's who you're going to be. You're going to be that kind of offense and be aggressive, then stick with who you are. And apparently...
And more yards after contact. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
He's showing you his skills on that last throw. This guy's got arm talent and accuracy, man. And some of it's not coachable. And I think back to Jamarcus Russell and Joe Burrow, 2 former Tiger quarterbacks that were the first overall pick in the NFL draft. They had some of that too. They just had a feel for the position that you simply couldn't coach at the college level. This guy, man, he's got some serious tools, and he really helps make this offense dangerous.
Second down coming up. Hand off from the shotgun. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. The Bayou Bengals have been able to put on an aerial circus in recent years, but the foundation, the running game.
Don't forget about the run game. That starts everything, right? Because if you can run it, you can throw it, you can create some balance and keep defenses off guard. But I think LSU does a really good job of always establishing the run game first. Then they'll get to their playmakers and all the speed out wide.
And the defense finally makes the stop after the sweet run and good gain.
I think throughout the week in practice, when they were game planning their opening script, I don't even know if they envisioned it going as well as it has. This has been beautiful. Nice balance, really nice rhythm. It feels like everything they're dialing up here on their first drive of the game is working to perfection.
The Tigers will have it 1st and 10. They're in the red zone, and they'll pass it. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. After the misfire, it's 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Got his man quickly. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play.
Man, this guy's going to need some water when he gets to the sidelines. They've been putting him to work on this drive, right? We've seen him toting the rock with success, and now you're seeing him get involved in the passing game, too. They are highlighting his versatility here on this drive.
The terrain gets rough this deep in the red zone. 3rd down, they can't pick up the first without score. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, LSU!
The offense goes as he goes, so really no surprise in the opening drive. They keep feeding him the football. He showed you all of his ability on that TV.
The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. How about the way they attacked the last time they had the ball, mixing run and pass and winding up in... And the sack! All the way back at the 5.
Defensively, you got them backed up. There's 2 options that they're going to do. They're going to run the football and be conservative, or they're going to try to take shots down the field. They tried to take a shot. Defense was ready. Nice pass rush. Way to get to the QB and get after that sucker.
He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection.
And you see those balls in practice sometimes. They're just off the mark. You don't know how to control it. You don't know what goes wrong, but sometimes QBs miss, and it's an incompletion.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And he bats it away. It falls incomplete.
That's a great job by the DB playing the ball in the air. You see it all the time. DBs kind of get turned around. The wide receiver goes up and makes a catch. No, sir. DB, great position, knocks the ball down for an incompletion.
LSU will bring the punt team on the field. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. Oh, they are all... LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. Going up top on 1st down. Out of the backfield, he's open. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the 1st down.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense, catching the football.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Unloads to the wideout. And it was worth going for a chunk play, but the long pass is incomplete.
I know it was incomplete, and I'm okay with it. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm going to keep taking shots down the field. I'm going to make him honor that deep ball. I'll hit some of those before the game's over.
They've got it at the 41, 3rd and short, trying to keep the chains moving. From the gun, wants to pass. And the quarterback is snowed under. They got to him in a heartbeat. Man, was he back there quickly.
Yeah, and you could see the linebackers up near the line of scrimmage. Which one's coming? He comes flying through with great speed. The offense had no clue how to get him blocked, and he gets the big sack.
Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. We assume he's going to punt it this time. He did complete a pass earlier. Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. And after the punt, that's where they'll... The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. Boy, 3 and out last time, David. They'd like to be more productive this time around.
Yeah, in the last drive, nothing really clicked. No rhythm, got off the field really quickly. They need to put something together here, Paul.
Yeah, David, bad execution on that last drive, so they got to take a collective breath and start playing like a unit on this drive.
Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Let's see what they've got on second down. He'll run it again. And he surges up to the 36-yard line, and they'll move the chain.
You wonder now on offense, have they found something in the run game? Finally, it's been tough for them to get the run game going, but they picked up a nice gain on that last one. Let's see if they go back to it.
Leaves it with the back. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40.
I know the passing game sells, and the passing game is exciting, but it's not exciting to get 5 or 6 yards a pop on the ground, but it will be very successful.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Running back searching for a hole. And they make the tackle, but he has plenty for the first down.
And I don't care if I get it by 2, by 20, by 30, by 40. I just want to get the first down, understanding the situation, understanding where the sticks are. Doesn't have to be sexy, but I got to make sure I get to that stick, get to the first down mark.
Give to the running back. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
They'll give it to the back. 1-step wrap, 2-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground.
I like feeding my guy. I like getting my running back touches, feeding him the ball so he can break some of those big runs, but I'm also okay with these little ones. Set the tone, stay balanced.
They'll run for it on 3rd and short. He'll be stopped short, picks up 1, but they're facing 4th and 1.
4th down coming up.
That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Thanks so much, guys, and I need not tell you, rivalry games always bring out a ton of emotion, and no surprise, we saw just that in the first half today. And I get it. A lot of coaches will say the difference between winning and losing comes down to stopping big plays and getting big plays. But if you ask me, it's more about how good you are on 3rd down and how efficient you are in keeping drives alive. Those two stats can help you break the will of even the best defenses and help you come out on top. That said, let's get back to the field and our guys in the booth to see who comes out on top of this rivalry contest.
All right, Kevin, about ready to get things cranked back up here. Texas A&M has it teed up to start this second half. He wisely lets that one bounce. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. Tight game as we start the third quarter, and we'll see what type of adjustments they made at halftime.
And getting the ball first here, I think, is such a big deal. Like, I get the first chance to make a statement, to make the adjustments, to create some momentum for my squad right here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think it's so important for this offense to set the tone here early in the second half, to get a nice drive going, build that confidence, and get your defense ready to come on out, get a stop, and change the complexity of this game.
They go to the ground. He stopped after getting a yard out to the 30. This is where you make the money on the drive. Ball at the 30, it's third and short. Leaves it with the running back.
And they just kind of sneaked that one in there as a defensive guy, 3rd and 5+. I'm thinking pass. They were thinking pass, Palmer, and they slipped the run in.
And it's so nice then to have this guy at running back too, right? Because you could throw it to him on 3rd down or hand it off, and he's got the vision and the athleticism to go pick up that first, keep the drive going.
Softened him up with a run, and now to throw. Takes the easy one to the back. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. Now on 2nd down. A run for the quarterback. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down.
And Artie, it's completely changed the game. Like, now it's 11-on-11 football. The quarterback used to hand it off and stand there and watch the play. Now he's very much involved in the play. He's running the football so much, and even when he's not, he's making somebody go with him and cover him. So the quarterback scrambling, the quarterback running has completely changed the way people play defense.
You know, you talk so much about QBs, right? And having to make really good decisions. There's a great example. He didn't see anybody open downfield. He didn't hesitate for 1 second. He put his head down, and he took off and went running and generated an explosive play for the offense.
Worked his way to the 38 before they stopped him. It's a 5-yard gain, and that'll be a first down.
You know, we talk about quarterbacks having to make quick decisions, and I think you saw it on that play. Nobody opened downfield, and he just decided to take off.
The Tigers have it with a 1st and 10. Looks as if he's going to run it. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Well, I don't know what the quarterback saw on that last play, but he made a pretty quick decision that he was just going to tuck it and run it, and his offensive coordinator is glad he did. How about the speed by the QB on that play?
Quarterback will keep it. Brought down at the 25 after a 5-yard gain. It'll be a first down.
I'm not sure what the quarterback saw on that one, but that was a very quick decision to take off and run with it to try to get his offense some positive yards.
All the way down to the 25-yard line. It's 1st and 10. He's looking to throw it. Coming after it. Hit hard just as he released it on 1st down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Man, this quarterback is going to need an ice bath when this game is over because he is getting whacked. We've seen him go down. He's been sacked time and time again. He just got nailed another time on that last play. He can't wait for this game to be over.
From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Brought down after picking up 3 down to the 22.
At the 22.
Already well within field goal range. Wonder how aggressive they'll be on 3rd and long from the 22. The give to the tailback. Almost got to the sticks on 3rd down. Able to pick up 6, but they're looking at a 4th and 1. LSU looking to take advantage of this red zone trip. They'll go with a direct snap. Got some room, headed to the goal line. He almost punched it in for 6. They'll get him down at the 1-yard line. No problem for the offense there. They just took care of business.
When you practice these situations nowadays, you know you're going to go for it on fourth most of the time. 4th and 1, you feel very confident. You're ready to rock and roll.
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Tigers. Man, did he show some hops for that one.
Some serious vertical right there. I tell you what, everybody in front of you, hey, I'll go by air if I need to. Good job getting in the air, getting the touchdown.
The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. How big is this drive? Scored a touchdown the last time they had it. Defense gets a stop, and now it's up to them in a tie game.
All right, so if you're the offensive coordinator here, let's dial it in. Who are your best matchups and best playmakers to take advantage of this golden opportunity?
Yeah, and I'm interested to see this defense, too. Like, the momentum is clearly not in your favor. How do you get it back? How do you make a big play? Do you be more aggressive here to try to get the football back to your offense?
Get some work done there. Pick up a 4 to the 22.
Well, this offense came into the game knowing they wanted to be physical. They wanted to establish the line of scrimmage, and they're running downhill right at this defense, and they're churning out positive yardage early.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. It's caught, and they knocked him down, but he got past the line to gain. And LSU starting to get that passing attack cranked up.
And this is a unit that typically LSU is as good as they are at quarterback. We know they're going to be physical. We know they got athletes all over the field. But when they get really good quarterback play, those teams are really special.
Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. Man, what a finish we could have. Tie game, 3rd quarter here, 2nd and 10. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. He makes the connection. Really nice job there by both guys, the throw and the catch, to work that defense and get the first down.
You got to give the O-line a lot of credit there because it gave the receiver time to work all the way across the field on the drag route against zone coverage. Quarterback gets it to him. He's able to turn it up and get a first down.
The give to the running back from the shotgun. There to make the tackle, and with that, we'll head to the 4th quarter. They fought tooth and nail through 3, and it is all locked up as we take a look at the stats. This is when winning plays are made, and we start right now in the 4th. They'll start the drive here with first down to open this period. He wants to throw. They're working that left side. Across the 25, he's got room. And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
LSU with the 1st and 10 here. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. He makes the grab.
Really nice job by the quarterback, dropping back, understanding. He knew his wide receiver was going to drag across the middle of the field. Good timing, waiting for him to come open, hitting him with the strike.
2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. They'll run it from the gun. He bullies his way all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Now, I love when players understand situations and they understand where the first down marker is and they understand where I got to get to. A lot of people you'll see run north-south and try to bounce out wide and make big plays. Sometimes it's not about making big plays. Sometimes it's about getting that first down to make sure I get an extra set of downs instead of trying to make those big touchdown runs.
They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches. Offense trying to pay it off on 2nd and goal. Pushes for the goal line. Touchdown, Tigers! They've got the lead here in the 4th.
Wow, this offense, they have a lot of faith in this running back, knowing if they get down in this area of the field, he can get it done and he can answer the bell. 2 rushing touchdowns already for this offense.
LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. What a good mix of plays, keeping that defense off balance last time, David.
And Reese, they don't know if it's run or if it's pass. They got them right where they want them. This defense doesn't know how to react from getting punched in the mouth on that last drive.
So in this next drive, David, I think you keep running the football because that sets up the play action, it sets up the RPO game, and then you keep this defense guessing.
They'll line up for a 2nd down play. The give to the back. He picks up maybe a couple before he stopped right at the 30-yard line.
At the 30. Brings up 3rd.
Ball sitting right at the 30. It'll be 3rd and short. Trying to pick it up on the ground. Now they'll really try to get this drive going. Good execution on 3rd down as they have it 1st and 10 at the 31.
Well, nice job finding a crease to go get that first. And Dave, there's just some running backs out there that feel like they have that 6th sense. They just know where the marker is. They know where that first down marker is, and they're just able to find a way to fall forward and get it.
Oh, and I love when they don't dance. Know the situation, right? Don't bounce things that don't need to be bounced. When I need to stick my face in there and lower my shoulder and get a couple yards, I got to know the situation. Great job by him running the ball physical and finishing the run for a 1st down.
To the air on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces 2nd down.
You know, it's difficult for QBs sometimes when you're throwing to your running backs because they're not receivers. You really got to be perfect with the ball placement. You got to make that a catchable throw. A little bit too tough for the RB on that one.
This offense has a 2nd down play. The give to the back. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop.
How nice is it as a play caller when you've got a running back as good as this guy, right? I mean, you can just dial up conservative run calls. Nothing has to be too tricky, too fancy. You just know he's going to go make good things happen. Even when it's not blocked properly, he is still finding ways to rip off long runs. This guy now has over 150 yards rushing in the game. Doesn't look like he's slowing down, guys.
They need to get a little closer for a field goal try, and they've got to do it in a hurry. In the gun, looking to throw on 3rd down. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their 1st of the half.
And those outside linebackers nowadays, they're so fast. They got to cover ground, but you can blitz them off the edge, and they can get after quarterbacks. Versatile. That's why they're getting drafted so high in the NFL and getting paid all that money.
going for it on 4th down late in a tie game. This is a huge play. And this is going to be intercepted. A big play in a tie game. Oh, you could just feel it. He wanted to make that a big return, but his offense will come out and they've got to move quickly here. Still a chance, but they've got to force the ball down the field. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. He's going up top here late in the game. Go to the sideline, and it's complete, and they've got a big play. And he scoots out of bounds, picks up the first down, gets the clock stopped, and now they're in business in plus territory. LSU now operating in the red zone. Using his feet. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up.
QBs that can run completely change your game. I mean, every single bit of it. You have to understand, now as a pass rusher, I got to...
And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals.
Man, great execution. That is how it's done late in the football game now. All you need is that extra point. Bring the kicker out there. This is what you do. Just like practice, knock it through the uprights, tie this football game, and we might be looking at overtime soon.
And it looks as if they're going to try a field goal. The cleats will be tested.
Timeout, Texas A&M.
It's wise not to be too greedy, and they'll go ahead and send out the field goal unit. Timeout is called with just a single second left.
Timeout, Texas A&M.
Here comes the field goal unit. Perhaps duck shoes would be appropriate here as he comes out in the rain to try to win the game. And that is no good. And here in the fourth quarter, still all tied up, guys. Defense has its back against the wall as they try to extend this game and force another overtime. They'll leave it with him. Blast is way ahead, but not much room. A pickup of 1 to the 24. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. He's looking to throw. Finds his back in the middle. He's brought down. Solid pickup, but a little bit short of the first down.
He's brought down at the 15-yard line. Brings up third down.
Now third down, and they just don't want to move backwards to give their kicker a chance to win it in OT. They'll try to move the chains on the ground. Tackle is made after the first down.
And that's so tough as a defense because they only got to get inches. But I got to find a way to somehow get a knockback, stop the running back's feet right there. I couldn't do it. He gets downhill just enough, and he gets the first down.
It's a good job, too, there on third down by the offense because a major statistic in football in terms of winning and losing is how good are you at staying on the field, keeping drives alive. Whether it's third and long or third and inches, you just have to go execute, and they do it.
It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Here's the handoff. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line, and this defense is on its heels.
I think he run that play on second down knowing it's going to make third down easy. You're not trying to hit a home run. You don't need the big play right now. Now you know third down, everything's on the table, everything's available, high success rate.
Third down, and they want to make sure their kicker has a chance to win it in overtime. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. He's in! A game-winning touchdown in overtime!
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
What a thriller. What a confidence builder to be able to come up with a win like that in overtime.
This team has to love their ability to come up with big plays and big moments. How about in overtime, the individual efforts we saw, this team playing as a unit, doing enough and doing everything that was needed to get the W.
It's such an exciting game, up and down, back and forth. It's heartbreaking if you lose, but when you come through with these games late in the ball game, it gives you confidence throughout the season to continue to build on it. What a great win.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.